"I just want to see my balance," single dad said. The millionaire froze at what appeared on screen. The moment the tired single father stepped into the marble-floored lobby of the high-security corporate tower, everyone turned to stare. His clothes were wrinkled from rushing out of his night shift, his hands were trembling from exhaustion, and his little boy clung to him with a teddy bear squeezed tight against his cheek. But what stunned the room wasn't his worn appearance, it was the raw determination in his eyes. The kind that comes from fighting battles life never stops throwing. When he approached the millionaire philanthropist who ran the foundation, the man expected a request for help, maybe a plea for support, maybe another tragic story he would try to fix. But instead, the father simply swallowed hard, held out a worn white card he had been given weeks ago, and said in a low, tired voice, "I just want to see my balance." What happened next made even the millionaire's confident facade crack in shock as the numbers on the screen loaded, and the entire room fell silent. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of good people still existing in this world, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly helps stories like this reach more hearts. The father's name was Daniel, a man who had once dreamed of becoming an engineer, but life had its own cruel way of rewriting dreams. After losing his wife during childbirth, he had been left alone with an infant son and a mountain of hospital debt that drowned any chance of stability. Every day became a battle of survival. He worked 3 jobs, barely slept, and lived in a cramped basement apartment where the ceiling leaked when it rained. But none of that mattered to him as long as his boy, Liam, had food, clean clothes, and a hint of comfort in his tiny world. The teddy bear Liam carried everywhere was the last gift Daniel had bought before his 3rd job laid him off. It was a symbol of the little piece of childhood Daniel fought desperately to protect. Daniel heard about the foundation by accident. A coworker mentioned a program for struggling parents, something about financial review and temporary support. Most people dismissed it as a lottery-like chance with impossible odds. But Daniel held on to hope the way drowning men hold on to pieces of driftwood. When he finally submitted his documents, he received a simple card with a number, an application ID, and instructions to return in a few weeks to see if he qualified for assistance. Those weeks became an agonizing blur of unpaid bills, skipped meals, and long nights listening to his son's breathing, terrified the world might take him too. When Daniel arrived at the foundation, he expected an unremarkable process. He thought someone would scan his card, print out a small approval or rejection, and he would walk away to resume the endless cycle of survival. But the moment he entered, people noticed the way he carried himself, the weariness mixed with unwavering love for the boy in his arms. The staff guided him toward the executive office where the millionaire himself was reviewing selected cases. Daniel didn't understand why, nor did he question it. All he wanted was clarity. All he wanted was to see whether this time, just this once, life might show him mercy. Inside the office, the millionaire, a man known for his calm authority, studied Daniel carefully as he approached. Behind him stood his advisors, polished in suits, analyzing every detail. Daniel placed his son gently on his hip and handed over the small card. His voice broke slightly as he repeated, "I just want to see my balance." It was a simple sentence. But everyone in the room felt the weight behind it, the desperation of a father who had nothing left to lose, the fragile thread of hope holding him together. The millionaire typed the ID number into the system. The loading icon spun slow, painfully slow. Daniel held his son tighter. His heart hammered against his ribs. He wasn't expecting a miracle, only a chance to breathe. But when the results finally appeared, the millionaire's eyes widened. His hand froze on the mouse. The advisors behind him leaned forward, stunned. The screen revealed not a modest relief grant or a temporary stipend, but a staggering 6-figure sum approved by the foundation's board. It wasn't just assistance. It was a complete life reset, debt clearance, housing support, childcare assistance, and a personal educational grant for parents who showed extraordinary resilience. Daniel instinctively stepped back, thinking there must be a mistake. The millionaire swallowed hard and stood up, visibly shaken. He read through the notes submitted by the review board. They had been deeply moved by Daniel's sacrifice, his consistency, his refusal to abandon his responsibilities despite overwhelming difficulty. One reviewer wrote that Daniel wasn't a man asking for help, he was a man earning it every day through his integrity and love for his child. The foundation decided his case would be their biggest approval of the year. Daniel felt his vision blur. His chest tightened, his knees weakened. He had spent so long being strong that feeling hope again was almost unbearable. He whispered to himself, asking whether this was real or a cruel mistake. But then the millionaire placed a steady hand on his shoulder and told him that he and his son deserved this chance, that some people weren't just survivors, they were heroes in disguise. Daniel broke down silently, tears forming as little Liam touched his father's face with confusion, as if sensing the shift in the air. The room changed after that. The advisors who moments ago were indifferent now watched with softened expressions. The millionaire escorted Daniel personally to the financial office, explaining each benefit, each support system now available to him. For the first time in years, Daniel allowed himself to imagine a future not defined by fear. A future where his son could grow without witnessing sacrifice as the only language of love. A future where Daniel himself could stand tall again. And as he left the building, his son's tiny hand clutching his shirt collar, the world outside suddenly felt brighter, warmer, possible. The card he once carried as a symbol of uncertainty was now a key to hope. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It encourages us to bring you more real, emotional stories that remind us what humanity truly looks like. Before you go, comment below, do you believe small acts of compassion can change someone's entire life?